Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Pav, and I'm happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. The WWE's biggest show of the summer, SummerSlam, is going down this weekend, as you all know, and DraftKings is trying to put you right in the middle of the action with $25,000 up for grabs. DraftKings is an official gaming partner of the WWE, and playing for your share of $25,000, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is download the DraftKings app, sign up using the code PAVWG, and just enter the DraftKings free-to-play SummerSlam pool and answer questions like who's gonna win this match, who's gonna make a surprise return. We always think we know everything about wrestling anyway. Let's put it to the test. The players with the most correct answers will get their share of $25,000 in prizes that is up for grabs this weekend. Hey, I'm gonna be playing for sure this weekend, so feel free to join me. All you gotta do is download the DraftKings app, use the code PAVWG, and enter the free WWE Prediction Challenge with $25,000 up for grabs. So use the promo code PAVWG right now, pause the video, go download it, go use the code right now, and enter the free $25,000 contest. Only at DraftKings, an official gaming partner of the WWE. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. Go show them some love. But now, it's time for today's feature presentation. Let's get straight into it. In just 8 months, the WWE is going to be holding their biggest show of the year once again, and after 18 long years, WrestleMania is going to be back in Hollywood. And this WrestleMania has been hyped up since the minute it was announced, and there are so many questions on how this WrestleMania will be. And now with it being 8 months away and we're closer and closer, I thought now would be the perfect time for your boy to fantasy book my WrestleMania 39. But the big question going in was, do I book this with or without The Rock? See, for years the sentiment has been, if The Rock is ever gonna come back for a match, if The Rock is ever gonna come back for one more Mania, it would be here, Los Angeles 2023. But as of now, we have no idea, and honestly, chances are it's not happening. So I went to you guys and I made a poll of which booking did you guys want to see, with The Rock returning or staying in Hollywood, and 75% of the fans with over 9,000 votes voted that they want to see the booking with The Rock coming back. So here we go, The Rock is back in his first real match in 9 years, live from Hollywood, California. It's the grandest stage of them all. It's your boy Pav, aka Wrestling Gifts, and ladies and gentlemen, this is Fantasy Booking WrestleMania 39. We begin at Clash at the Castle, the first UK pay-per-view in decades, and the main event has been going on for 20 minutes. The crowd is in a frenzy. Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns have been tearing the house down, and their crowd is just begging for somehow, some way for Drew to pull this one off. As both men are dead, both men are tired after finishers have been hit, finishers have been reversed, after everything's been going down. Out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre becomes the WWE champion. After all this time, after carrying during the pandemic and never getting his true moment in front of the crowd, he finally gets it in the UK, and Drew McIntyre becomes the WWE champion. In something that everyone wanted to see happen but nobody thought could actually happen, Roman Reigns is in the ring and he's lost for the first time in over 2 years. He has finally lost a one-on-one match, and God mode is no more. He's in the ring and it just hit him that he's taken the L. But fast forward to Survivor Series 2022, and it's the most anticipated rematch for the WWE title in a long time. Roman Reigns is obsessed with getting his title back, and he continues to dominate. He continues to wild out, but that one blemish on his record eats him alive. He wants his title back, he wants to be double champion, but he's a little shook now. He's a little different now. Even his wise man tells him, don't do title versus title, just try to get your title back. So Drew and Roman put on another classic 2-year anniversary of their first Survivor Series match. Roman does everything he can, but once again he can't get the job done. In an unbelievable sight, Roman loses clean to Drew once again. He simply can't beat Drew for whatever reason. Is it because Drew's better? I don't know. Is it because Drew has, never quits? I don't know. Nobody knows, but for some reason Drew McIntyre has Roman Reigns' number. As the weeks and the months go by, Roman keeps getting closer to the edge. The faith his bloodline has in him kind of dwindles. Even the wise man starts looking at him differently. The kingdom that he's built is slowly falling down, and the trust is slowly going away. Damn, Oos, Drew really got your number. Roman just brushes it off and he does his thing. He still dominates. He's still the leader and he clears the house. But yo, everyone can notice that it just isn't the same with the bloodline. Anyway, welcome to 2023, and it's the Royal Rumble, the night where the official road to WrestleMania kicks off, and it's the night where the matches begin to slowly come together and the fans are able to see the vision. And all the eyes are on the men's Royal Rumble match. The match starts with the #1 entrant in the match being none other than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is the Iron Man of the match. He stays in there through everything, he survives, and we have a really solid Rumble. But you already know the whole time, everyone is just waiting, just hoping that now that the next entrant is none other than Cody Rhodes. It's what everyone wants, it's what everyone needs, and all night you have the fans chanting Cody, Cody. It's just one of those nights where everyone knows what's gonna happen, but they don't care because that's what they want. It's predictable, but no one cares because it's the right thing. After 50 minutes of action, we are at number 30. The last person is about to come out, and then as soon as the buzzer goes off, everyone holds their breath until they hear it.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Cody Rhodes, the GOAT, comes back in the most predictable yet awesome moment. He's back at it like a crack addict. He's ready to bleed for this industry. He's in the house. The crowd is going crazy. Rollins in the ring, and as soon as he goes in there, he's all over Rollins. Cody is back. Cody is the biggest star in the stadium, one of the biggest stars in the company, and of course, Cody washes and wins the 2023 Royal Rumble. The storybook return of Cody continues, and now he's going to WrestleMania. He's challenging for the WWE World title that has eluded his father all his life. He's doing it for his dad. And the next night on Raw, Cody comes out. The crowd is eating out of the palm of his hands, and he wastes no time. He says, "No disrespect to Drew McIntyre, but I've known since my first night back who I wanted to be in the main events of Mania to become champion. Roman Reigns, it's me and you at WrestleMania." The match that everyone has wanted, the biggest match, the biggest heel in the company versus the biggest face in the company, the two biggest stars. It speaks for itself. Roman versus Cody Rhodes. Until everything changes. Adam Pearce comes out on the same episode of Raw and drops a bomb of an announcement that since Roman Reigns hasn't defended his Universal title all of 2023, neither at day one of the Rumble, he's going to be forced to defend his title at the next pay-per-view in what's going to be his toughest challenge yet in his 800+ day reign. Roman Reigns is going to have to defend the Universal Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. Since he has won the title, he has never had a challenge like this, and now everything is slowly falling apart. He can't beat Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes is coming for his throat, and now he has to defend the title against 5 other people. So now it's like, will he even make it to Mania as champion? We make it to the Elimination Chamber, and the entrants in the chamber are stacked. Roman Reigns, Edge, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Theory, and last but not least, Riddle. They all make their entrance. Everyone's excited, except when Riddle's music hits, he doesn't come out. Everyone's waiting and waiting, and then you cut backstage and all you see Riddle is laid out. He's dead, he's bleeding, he's been killed, and you'll hear Adam Pearce just yelling, "Somebody call an ambulance, so we need a replacement, get someone out there." The cameras pan back to the arena, the commentators are shocked, everyone is quiet, and then we find out that there is a replacement, and all you hear is Randy Orton, who's been gone since June, is back. Randy Orton is back in the WWE. The Elimination Chamber business has just picked up and everyone is going nuts. They're cheering for him until it hits them. Yo, of course Riddle dies and Randy just happens to come out. Randy has like that twisted smile on his face. He goes in there and everyone is just booing, and heel Randy Orton is back in the cut. The man just destroyed his tag team partner just to get a shot at the gold, and here we are at the match. Roman Reigns has to go God mode. He starts the chamber at #1 and he tries to overcome the odds the best he can. And he survives as long as he could until he eats a finisher from Rollins, AJ, and Edge. 3 of the biggest stars in the company hit their finisher on Roman Reigns, and boom, 1, 2, 3, the reign is over. After 800+ days, it took an all-star team. It took 3 men hitting their finishers in an elimination chamber, but it finally happened. God mode no more, head of the table no more. Roman Reigns lost the title. Roman Reigns has lost it all. Meanwhile, back in the match, Edge gets eliminated by Theory, Theory gets eliminated by AJ, and AJ eliminates Seth, and at the end, the slithery snake, Randy Orton, of course, after barely doing anything the entire match, just slimes in there, and boom, RKO. Randy gets the win after his bro, after his homie, after he magically gets clapped and he just happens to be backstage just like that, becomes the Universal Champion, and heel Randy Orton is back in the cut, and it's official. Cody Rhodes wanted Roman Reigns, but now he's getting Randy Orton. He's gonna have to go up against his former mentor. His mentor who was deranged, who was mental, who has shown no mercy to anyone, destroyed his own tag team partner for the gold, and now he's going to end Cody Rhodes' little storybook return. It's the teacher versus the student, and the weeks leading up to Mania, you have Randy just bring up how he made Cody Rhodes, how back in the day he whipped Cody Rhodes' father's ass in front of him and Cody did nothing but stand there, and how if it wasn't for him there never would have been a Cody Rhodes, and now how he's going to end the career of his little prodigy. And for Cody Rhodes, this is it, the biggest chance of his career. He finally is going to have a major match at WrestleMania. He finally has a chance to become a WWE champion, to finally do what his father could never do in the WWE, and he has to do it against the man who taught him everything, the evil, the vicious, the viper, the apex predator, Randy Orton. It's personal, it's fire, teacher versus student. It's the first main event of the show. It's Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, at this point, Drew McIntyre is living lavish. He has been champion since Clash at the Castle. He's beaten everyone that's come close to him. He's been unstoppable, and with Cody Rhodes choosing the other championship, he's all alone with nobody left to fight at the grandest stage of them all. So he's in the ring on an episode of Raw, and he's calling out an open challenge. If anyone back there, back anywhere wants a shot at the title, if they think they can beat me at WrestleMania, come out now. Drops the mic and the fans wait and wait, but nobody comes out for a good minute. Drew gets ready to leave. He calls it a night until hey yo, it's only right. It's WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be 18 years from when Cena won his first title in the same city at the same show, and now the Hollywood star is back for one more shot at the big prize, and it's simple. It's John Cena trying to go for his 17th title, trying to break Ric Flair's record, and what better place and show to do it than WrestleMania in Hollywood. Two absolute beasts, one of the greatest of all time against a current major star, and yo, let's add some more stakes to it. If Cena loses, he retires. It's title versus career. Either Cena becomes a 17-time champion or he's retiring. Main event number 2, Cena versus McIntyre, WWE title, career versus title. But meanwhile on SmackDown, Roman Reigns has lost it all. Everything is gone, both titles, the trust of his family, the wise man doesn't even believe him anymore. Roman Reigns has gone mad. He doesn't trust anyone in his family, and the feeling is mutual. The Usos no longer look up to Roman. They don't trust him anymore. They can't trust in someone who has lost it all. Roman Reigns had it all, now he has nothing. And now as Roman Reigns blames the Usos and blames Heyman, they don't stand down. This isn't 2020 anymore. They stand up. So Roman has had it, and he just banishes his wise man. He tells the Usos, I don't need you anymore, and the Usos just look at him, and as they're about to leave, Us, you never were the head of the table, you never were the tribal chief. They drop the mic, they leave, and Roman Reigns is all alone. He's in the ring, and he has literally lost it all. No more titles, no more family, no more power. It's just him alone in the ring. The show's about to go off the air in 30 seconds. It's 9:59 on the dot. Has the mic and he yells, Dwayne, it's time for the tribal chief to smash your bitch ass. And the crowd goes nuts, the world goes nuts. SmackDown goes off the air with Roman Reigns issuing a challenge to The Rock. Twitter is going mental, Instagram's going mental, everything is going mental. Is The Rock actually going to show up next week? Is he actually going to be there? Is it happening? Is The Rock going to show up on SmackDown and go face to face with Roman Reigns? To say the world will be watching would be an understatement. SmackDown begins the next week, and as the show starts, Rocky chants are already in the air, and boom, you hear the music. The Rock comes out on Fox live on SmackDown, and the match that people have wanted for years, the dream match, the biggest money match that WWE has left to offer, It's gonna happen. It's time to find out who the real head of the table is. But for Roman, this is it. This is redemption. This is the end. This is his one way back to the top, to get his family back, to be the head of the table again, to get his power back, to stop his kingdom from falling down. He has to beat The Rock or else it's over. He needs to end The Rock's career. The man who everyone respects in his family. He has to finish him so he can officially be crowned. The promo battles will be legendary and intense. There's no titles on the line, no extra gimmicks, just two men putting it all on the line to see who the better man is. It's family versus family, it's the past versus the present, it's war, it's the dream match, it's The Rock versus Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. It doesn't get bigger than that. What a time to be alive. It's April 1st, 2023. It's night one of WrestleMania 39. The crowd is electric, the grandest stage of them all, and it's time for the show. And as we go through the show, these are just the major matches. Feel free to add any additional random matches you like. And we're gonna party like it's 2007 and open the show with the ladder match. We're gonna have our boy Gunther defend his IC title against Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Braun Breaker, Mustafa Ali, and Sami Zayn in a 6-man ladder match for the IC title. And of course, the match is a car crash and it's an easy way to get the crowd hyped up. It's a little throwback to 07 like I said, and you can already imagine the crazy spots we would get, especially with Gunther getting unleashed and Braun Breaker doing his thing. But nah, tonight is the night that Braun Breaker wins his first main roster title as he puts in work and walks out IC champion. Then on the same card, we got the Raw Women's title on the line. 1 year after she won the title at WrestleMania, Bianca is back at WrestleMania and has had the run of a lifetime, but now she's up against her toughest challenge yet, a triple threat match. It's Bianca versus Charlotte versus Asuka for the title. And yo, you already know this would be such a fire triple threat match. 3 absolute beasts, 3 of the absolute best in the ring. And Bianca, like, does she win? Does she continue her legendary run and, you know, pass a year? Or does Charlotte win, LOL, and add another belt to her career? Or does Asuka finally get her WrestleMania moment? No doubt this would be special, and I see Asuka finally making Charlotte tap and getting revenge for WrestleMania in 2017, and Asuka finally gets a WrestleMania moment and is once again Raw Women's Champion. As the show goes on, we get the veteran versus the new kid on the block. It's Edge versus Theory, and this one kind of makes sense because Theory wants to be this generation's Edge so bad. He wants to be the man that everyone hates, who ruins everything, and what better way to get to that status than by beating Edge, beating the Hall of Famer, and continuing his push. But then it's time for a big match. It's time for a blockbuster match that you gotta have on WrestleMania. After their Royal Rumble match was ruined in 2022 by being used as a pawn in a larger storyline, yo, we gotta run it back. We gotta do Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley 2, and this time there is no Paul Heyman, there's no antics, no title, just 2 men going at it. It's a match that the fans wanted, we got it, and we wanted more of it. We wanted it to be special because we know it can be, and here we get it at WrestleMania, and this would be nuts, okay? 2 monsters, and just make sure that you reinforce the ring. But Bobby Lashley has been having the run of his career. You put in Brock Lesnar, it could be magic, it could be special, and how awesome would it be to see Bobby Lashley actually beat Brock Lesnar in the ring? Yo, it will be big. But then the main event of night 1, the match that was more than a decade in the making, a match that can be traced back to the beginning of Cody's career. And yo, as much as I would love for him to beat Roman in the main event of WrestleMania, if Roman's up against The Rock, I think this is the perfect replacement. Orton and Cody, they tear the house down. It's Randy Orton in his last WrestleMania main event, the last hurrah, with probably his last title run. He's running back the heel 2009 character, and they tear the house down. Broken announce tables, closed pinfalls, cutter versus cutter, you name it. But at the end, the 16-year odyssey of Cody Rhodes is cemented at the top. The 46-year-old callback is done right, and Cody Rhodes, on the biggest stage of them all, wins the big one for his father. It's a beautiful scene. It's a crazy scene that no one would have expected in like 2020, but Cody Rhodes becomes a Universal Champion, and as night 1 ends, Cody stands tall. As the biggest face in the WWE, he finally gets his moment. Cody finally becomes the man. We then move on to night 2, and night 2 has 4 more absolute fire matches on deck, and one being for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Finally, 4 years after it should have happened in the first place, It's heel Ronda Rousey versus the Women's Royal Rumble winner Becky Lynch for the title. Two stars who have hated each other for years, two stars who should have collided back in 2019. You know, it's finally time to end the story. Ronda Rousey's shoulders were up at the end of WrestleMania 35, but tonight Ronda Rousey gets her ass beat. It's close, they could make it work, it could be a very special match, but on this night, Becky Lynch finally gets redemption and gets the big dub and is back on top. Next up, we have a #1 contenders match for any of the major titles. It's Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. These two had a classic match back in Money in the Bank in 2019 and they're running it back. Since they both were in the final 3 at the Rumble and the Elimination Chamber, it's a #1 contenders match and they can go on to verse any champion they like. They put on an amazing match just as you would expect from Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, but at the end, Rollins gets the win and Cody's first program defending the title is going to be running it back against Seth Rollins one last time. I think that's a better move to do that than have them at WrestleMania. Cody's beat him 3 times, no need to waste a big WrestleMania match on that. Instead, let him run it back after Mania at Extreme Rules. But as the night slowly comes to an end, it's time for the co-main event. It's John Cena versus Drew McIntyre, career versus title. Either a legendary career ends tonight or the 7-month reign of Drew McIntyre. It's face versus face, but you already know everyone is going to be going crazy for John. Nobody wants to see the career end. The crowd will be on the edge of their seat, and I can just picture this being such a special match. It would be the biggest match of Drew's career, and if anyone's earned it, if anyone deserves it, it's Drew McIntyre. And on this night, Drew McIntyre, he survives everything and he comes back and he throws everything at Cena. Both men give it their all. They're just killing each other. Drew hits a bunch of claymores, but on this night, on some 1998 Michael Jordan vibes, on some final game Kobe vibe, Cena comes clutch. He pulls off the attitude adjustment when nobody expects it, and in the clutch wins the title. And 18 years later from when he won his first title, he wins his last. He becomes a 17-time champion, and John Cena breaks Ric Flair's record where it all started. Tell me that wouldn't be elite. It would be such a special moment. Drew and Cena can shake hands after, but Cena gets that one last run. He finally wins the big one once again. The champ is here one last time. But then it would be time for the end. It would be time for the main event, and if this were to happen, it would be the biggest possible match the WWE could offer. Just thinking about it feels surreal. The Rock back in a WWE ring, wrestling, doing the full entrance, sweating and jogging, all amped up, being all electrifying against Roman Reigns, who has finally become the man, who has finally become worthy of a main event against The Rock. 2 nights before, you have The Rock go in the Hall of Fame, and on this night, these two just go at it, and these would be one of those iconic special Rock type matches like the one against Hogan and Cena where the crowd does the talking. They just do their thing in the ring and the crowd will be fiending like a bunch of crackheads, and even though everyone in the building knows that the Roman Reigns is gonna win, just the excitement of seeing Rocky back, the electricity, just having that little bit of hope is enough to make the spectacle work, and there's no way it doesn't. They go out there and for 15 minutes put it all out. Finishers, signatures, drama, and at the end, Roman Reigns looks like, it looks like he might actually lose. He's been rock bottomed and everything, but nah, he kicks out. And boom, Roman Reigns with the spear gets the dub and finally beats the man who everyone wanted to see him wrestle since day one. Roman Reigns beats The Rock in Hollywood, the perfect culmination of the tribal chief character. After everything Roman Reigns has done, he has finally slayed The Rock. After everything crumbled for Roman Reigns, he wins the biggest match of his career. He gets his mojo back, he's back at the top, and now it's time for a Roman Reigns revenge tour, and what a landscape of the WWE going after this. Roman Reigns is back to being a monster, Cody Rhodes is champion, John Cena is champion. So many possibilities, but with this night it ends with Roman Reigns flexing, doing his thing. Roman Reigns is still the top dog. And WrestleMania ends with The Rock just saying his goodbyes, getting all the admiration and the love, and this ends up being The Rock's last match. And ladies and gentlemen, if The Rock were to come back, that would be my WrestleMania 39. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later. Peace.